Hey, welcome back and happy Women's History Month. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Jay and I'm a 2D, 3D artist. Sorry I haven't been posting this much this month. I've been focused on working on a game project and I'm in the process of trying to create my first commercial game. And I've been trying to get a playable demo created for pitching, speaking of which I still need to finish my pitch deck. I also wanted to finish an acrylic painting commission I was working on. The perfectionist in me would not let me finish it. It was also a realistic painting, which I'm not the greatest at, but because it was for a memoriam for a loved one, I wanted to do it. It actually ended up coming out pretty nice in spite of my shortcomings, and the person I did it for really liked it, so that's the good news. The only thing I hated about that piece was I made the sky way too blue, and then one of the figures in the picture actually has like a reddish orange shirt on. So it was really contrasting with the red and the blue, and not in a good way because it kind of took away from you seeing the detail and the niceness of the paint job, and you just saw the whole picture overall, and it kind of reminds me of like a kid's painting. But anyways, yeah, I finished that this month, and then what else was I doing? I think that was most everything. But for this painting, I started out at work during my lunch at the beginning of the month, and I knew I wanted to do a digital painting on this. Originally, I wanted to do kind of like a geisha fantasy-like situation. The colors I wanted to use were like greens and reds, and I wanted her to be pale but with like a reddish tint to her skin tone. And then I was like, I want it to be more red, so I did a red skin tone. I was like, okay, the green is not going to work with the color I chose, so I'm going to try to figure out something else. Yeah, but as I was doing the outlines, I was having a lot of issues with just trying to stay true to the original sketch. Originally, as you can see, I had like her holding a staff, and then I didn't even draw the other arm. I didn't realize it as I was scanning it in. But I started to not like it. It felt kind of stupid. So much of this is me trying to decide what the arms are going to look like, and you'll see that as the video progresses. Usually when I draw, I also do my sketch out or my base sketch inside of whatever program I'm using. I've been using Clip Studio for 2-3 years now because I don't want to pay for Photoshop. And yeah, so I normally don't do scans unless there's something about the sketch that I'm trying to include in the final design. But usually I just sketch it out in the program. With this digital painting, I started out pretty strong with what I knew I wanted to do with the design, but as I was progressing, I started not to like what I had came up with. So I started to change a lot of stuff and add in different areas. And part of the design that I originally had was left kind of vague because I wanted to focus on details when I got into the program. And it ended up coming up short because I was just so uncertain about certain things. And then the colors also threw me off because I deviated so much from the original design. I was like, okay, well, I can't do the greens anymore, and it's looking like something completely different. But it was fun to improvise this design, so that was cool. As I was working on this painting too, I started to struggle to stay motivated to finish it. And it's partly because I knew I was making this with the intention of posting it online. And while that's typically like a good thing and, kind of the reason behind why I record the videos and stuff, I've noticed over the past 2 years that when I'm making art in general, it kind of has been unfulfilling. Like, I'm still enjoying the process of creating my art, but like the end goal, the purpose behind them has been kind of lost in translation, trying to keep up with the algorithm and trends and trying to make something that people would engage with. Somewhere along the line, I kind of forgot to do art that I genuinely like and want to do. And trying to fit into the expectations and role of pleasing the algorithm or just random people on their internet I kind of started to play safe with my work. I don't take risks, and I don't do a lot of exploration like I used to. When I was in high school, I did art for all 4 years of that time, and we would have days where we would work strictly in our sketchbooks and do research and explore and try different things, come up with the design and the design, the layout of what we were trying to create, experimenting with the materials we were going to use. That process has definitely died out as I've gotten older and gotten more into digital art, as well as trying to be a content creator. So I think going back to that will definitely help me with the problems that I'm having as an artist. Another issue I'm having is I'm just not as interested in the subjects. Well, I'm interested in the subjects. I still like drawing women, but the way I draw them and what's going on, what they're doing, it's just a pretty picture. And when I was doing my acrylic paintings in high school and a little bit after that, there was kind of meaning behind it. There were signs and symbolisms, and they told stories. And I noticed a lot of my digital art doesn't do that, which is fine because it's a good place to practice. But if I'm going to primarily focus on digital art, I would like to incorporate what I usually do in my acrylics with it as well. Because not everything I make is going to be for, say, a video game or a cool design or a poster on the wall. And even if it is, I still feel like it should have some purpose or value. And right now, I just don't feel like there's anything with my art, if that makes sense. I'll also say I would like to start doing more studies. I haven't done a lot of them in a while. I haven't done any extensive ones. I do practice anatomy every once in a while, but for the most part, it's more like to flex my drawing muscles. Also, I think today, just as a creative in general, there's a lot in the way preventing people, including myself, from enjoying the process of creating art. There's a lot of pressure to meet the standards or the status quo of what's been presented and liked and shared a billion times on the internet. And the problem with that is everybody has done that. There's a million versions of it. But the thing that makes it special is that you as a creative are bringing your own individual touch to it. And sometimes, even in that process, I still don't know how to incorporate myself into it because I'm still trying to uphold the status quo of what's trending. And I need to stop doing that. I need to go back to making art that I like and content that I like. I'm still kind of new, but there's a huge difference between what I do digitally and traditionally, and that's the huge issue part with my artwork that I'm facing right now, is how do I bring more of what I enjoy about my traditional work into my digital work to share with others, because digital art is easier to share than traditional work. And I would like to incorporate that and not have those be separate things. I guess what I'm trying to say is don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and to do something different, especially if that different thing is you. Yes, there are going to be people who just don't like it, but there are also going to be people who come out to be your biggest fans. And in that, I want to make art that's provocative, challenging, that starts a conversation or shows an aspect of thinking, another perspective, a feeling. I don't know, just something different. I think we need to switch it up as creatives, and that's not. I'm included in that conversation. But either way, the pretty girl era, the pretty girl drawing era, that has to die or evolve a little bit. As I'm drawing a pretty girl. Yeah, I will say working on this There were times when I'd work on it where I'd really hate what I was doing, but I wanted to finish it. And then there were moments where I really loved working on it and I was excited to see the end result. That's why it also took really long to get this done. Total, it took me about 6.5 hours, which I feel like I didn't use my time the greatest on this piece. But again, it was also because I was struggling to trust the process on this. Then I think I like the colors, but when you add the background and everything, you see at the end, it's too much orange. You know, it kind of hurts to look at a little bit. So I might go back and change the background or add some more diversity of colors, because wow, it's very orange. March has gone by incredibly fast. I blinked and it is now the end of the month. And I'm stressed out a little bit. With all the plans I got, there's just not enough time. Something might fall through and that's okay, but like, Jesus Christ, slow down. Slow down, March. Just a little bit more time to enjoy March. It's getting hot now too. So worried about the heat. I don't know what to do. It's gonna be really hot. This is definitely a rambling video this time around. Like I have a script and I wrote some stuff down, but I'm like, honestly, I don't want to do a script. It took too long to do this one. But I'm glad I'm finally getting it out. I can move on now, and my conscience will feel so much better now that I have it out, and I can move on to newer and better things. And I'm gonna try to start doing my traditional art and posting videos of that. I just can't figure out how to set it up to record while I'm painting without having my head or my big shoulder in the way. So if you have any suggestions on setting that up, you can leave that in the comments. I'll be more than happy and thankful that you shared that. Because I do have another painting I'm working on that is definitely a deviation from what I typically do that I'm excited to share. I'd like to share the process instead of just the end result. Then I also had a painting from high school that I really liked of a peacock lady. I painted it over because back then when I was doing faces, they were pretty, but they were like broken anatomically, if that makes sense. They weren't as nice as what I can do now, especially now I can do more realistic looking faces. So I painted that over in January, and it's just been sitting on the side waiting for me to actually start it. And I didn't want to start it until I could figure out how to record it. So hopefully that comes April, May, and we can all enjoy that. I'm ready to start it, but I also want to record it. I want to see what that looks like. Anyways, that's gonna be it from me. Thank you for watching my video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day.